Anacapa Middle School, innovation empowers students to see possibilities. Through multiple VEP grants over the years, Anacapa STEAM has developed beyond the grants, where students are daring to think outside their labels and stereotypes and learning practical ways for applying their unique qualities. Teachers act as coaches to let students pursue passions while holding high expectations and making academic connections real. Students typically see themselves as engineers who are capable of researching, designing, prototyping, and presenting solutions to problems they have identified.
All right, I'm like super nervous, but okay. So I'm from Anacapa STEAM. My name is Kristie Steinlicht, and we are all about middle school opportunity, and we just are super thankful to be here. So I want to take you back, because at some point you realize I teach middle school, and then all of the candle lighting and prayer and, oh my gosh, I can't believe she does this, starts to come to your mind. So let's go back and remember middle school. Do you remember it, or do you want to forget about it? And so, again, gone are the days of little and cute and what Petra was talking about, these cute little fuzzy people. And then now we have bold awkwardness, and uncomfortable is the norm, and people who are trying things just to see what reactions they'll get. And so often we start labeling kids. Am I smart? Am I dumb? Do I have what it takes? And so the labels come, and we become more and more unsure of who we are. So I give them a secret on day one. And the secret is, raise your hand, but wear your deodorant. And I tell this on day one, it'll be okay. Just put on your deodorant first, then raise your hand, and you'll be okay. It is totally the secret. But seriously, in 2011, I wrote a grant for Lego Mindstorms. And the Legos were really about robots, and it was way back when robots were kind of very first coming out. And I thought this was the coolest thing. So I started an after-school club, and I invited several students to come and try them out. And I thought it was just going to be about robots. And little did I know that after a little while, I started having other conversations with kids, conversations about leadership and teamwork, about research and communicating. I was teaching them how not to be afraid and how to speak up and how to advocate for themselves. So then in the next phase, I wrote one for a 3D printer. And when I wrote for the 3D printer, I actually had to start using it in the library because I was running out of room in my class. And so I started having kids actually want to know about surface area and volume for the first time, because it meant the difference between an 18-hour print time and a 45-minute one. So it made the math real. And so I started partnering and doing collaborative projects, and one was with Senor Escobedo Garcia, who is part of our dual language program. And he was doing a thing on Egyptian artifacts, and so he would bring some of the kids over, and some of my kids would teach them how to do 3D printing. So they created models and printed all sorts of artifacts about Egypt. And then I also partnered, which is this picture, with Ms. Laurie Curtis Abbey, who teaches 8th grade U.S. history at our school, and this is a student who created an artifact about his family history. And so then here comes this idea that there's more to do and there's more that can be done. And Mr. Escobedo Garcia and I started having conversations on like Tuesdays after school, and it became a regular thing, and we started talking about that there's a need. And how do we provide opportunities for kids, for our kids, for all kids? And how do we do this? And how do we do what we wanted when we were that young? And so this idea of Anacapa STEAM hadn't yet been born. But that summer, our principal sent us to training. And in the fall, we started Anacapa STEAM. And so here are some of our kids. We exist mainly to provide equity and access, remove barriers, to connect kids, to inspire kids, and to allow them to see what they possibly can become. And then there's this door, and we were talking about this door of opportunity. And if we're honest, the door of opportunity is out there somewhere, but for some of us, it's really far away. And some of us know that we've gotten our hand slapped before for trying to open it a little too early. And for some of us, we know that the long, winding road is grueling, and the barriers are many, and it's going to take an exceptionally resilient student or child or adult to actually get to the door where it seems like it's real. And so in this door idea, we were thinking, how do we allow kids to get closer to that door? What barriers can we remove? How can we get kids to see that the door is actually real, when in reality, some of us feel like the door isn't there at all? And so remembering back to middle school, this is where we start to realize, I want to be, but I'm scared that I am. I'm scared if I'm smart, Am I not smart? Am I just an athlete? Am I just a pretty face? And the labels come, and they start having assumptions made about us based on language, based on a zip code, based on economics, based on all sorts of things that are unspoken, and they get stuck to us. And then we find it hard to even reach the door. And so here I'm going to tell you about the work that we do at Anacapa STEAM, and this is Allie's story. And Allie is just very typical of the kind of kids that we serve in our school. And she says, I can't do it. Can you help me? Maybe I'm stupid. And so what happened before that is Allie was in my class, and she was using nylocks, which are pictured here. And if you've never seen a nylock before, it has a silicone gasket, and it's used on the robots to keep the high friction areas from like coming apart. And so I told her, hi, this is going to be really a little bit more difficult than normal. I'm going to show you how they work, but just be prepared that it's going to be a little more difficult. And so she takes them, and I leave, and she does her little thing. And then all of a sudden, about 15, 20 minutes later, she walks up and says, I can't do it. Can you help me? Maybe I'm stupid. And so if I blow this, if I miss this opportunity, I miss my moment to bring her closer to this door. And so I asked her, well, what happened? And she said, you're right. They were hard, and I tried. And they were hard, and I couldn't do it. And I said, well, did you get any other help before you came? Because again, this idea of being on a team. And she says, yeah, I asked Sam, because he's smarter than me, but he couldn't do it either. And nowhere in there did she ever think that Sam was stupid, but she sure as heck thought she was stupid. And so right at that point, I had a vehicle to open a door, to bring her closer to a door, to maybe challenge her thinking, to maybe change her mind about what she thought she was capable of. And so here comes Ventura Education Partnership. And this is the part where for you provided me the opportunity to teach outside of the content area. You provided me opportunities to bring kids closer to the opportunity, to open doors for them, to change their minds. And whether it's robots or 3D printers or sensors or technology, it all serves to bring our kids closer to the life that they don't even know exists yet. And so Anacapa STEAM was born. And it exists mainly to break down barriers, to open doors, to provide kids opportunity, to give all kids access and equity in their different projects that they're working on, to really meet the needs that were missing from our lives when we were growing up as well. Trying to give them opportunity that might be out there that hasn't yet been invented. Maybe they'll get that job one day. And so we tell them, you're welcome to be here. The door is always open. You're welcome anytime. You bring so much. Regardless of who you are, you bring so much, whether it's language or teamwork or maybe team building, or maybe you're just the person who can build, but you also can bring other people in. And so the new labels started, and we have multilingual and mentors. And we have resilient and capable. And we have problem solvers who are powerful. And we have creative and innovative. And we have all these inspiring people who are team members, but also servant leaders. And we have inspirational people who are also award-winning. And we have scientists and technologists and engineers and artists and mathematicians. And here we are at Anacapa STEAM, creating opportunities and changing minds. And we thank you, Ventura Education Partnership, for providing those opportunities for us. We hope at the end of this you see middle school just a little bit differently, a world of possibilities, a world that you can possibly go out and get a kid a little closer to the door, that you don't shut a door, but that you maybe open one, that you maybe let go of some of the assumptions when you see someone, and maybe you start trying to apply the new labels. So we thank you, we appreciate you, and we couldn't be here without you. So thank you.